What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to you with that Jimmy Butler trade. I know when trades happen, I'll be the first one to put them up, but I had to go to work, so I had to wait till I got off work to do this video. So it's kind of late. But Jimmy Butler got traded for Zach LaVine, who's coming off, I think, an ACL injury. They also get Kris Dunn. You know I'm a fan of his. I did a rookie analysis on the summer league. I also covered him in the mock draft. He was one of my favorite players in last year's draft. Didn't really get that much playing time under Rubio. Couldn't really play his game with the roster. He couldn't really make his mistakes. He couldn't really grow as a player because he didn't get that much playing time. And he always had to either be a passer to Carlton Towns, Zach LaVine, or Andrew Wiggins. He couldn't really play his game. One thing I liked about Providence, they let Kris Dunn play his game, let him be himself, let him make mistakes, let him turn the ball over, let him get to the basket, just let him create for others. When he played in Minnesota, to me, he had to get the ball to Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, and Carlton Towns to do their things, so he was watching. In Chicago, they traded for Cameron Payne. Obviously, that didn't work out because they're trying to get Kris Dunn. Well, they ended up getting Kris Dunn too. But the thing I see is I like this trade for Chicago because Jimmy Butler has 2 years on his contract, and you paying him $20 million plus a year. I think he was getting paid 4 year $80 million, so that'd be $20 million a season. But you get Zach LaVine, even though he's coming off an injury. He actually adds a shooter because Zach LaVine is a good three-point shooter and he can create his own shot. He's athletic. He can jump out the sky and he can shoot free throws. He needs to improve as a playmaker and a decision maker, and he needs to stop being bad. He has bad shot selection, but he didn't have that as much last year and the year before, but he had it, and he might get it because when you're on a bad team, you pick up bad habits. So we'll see what Zach LaVine do when he come off his injury. He should be able to start this season because he was injured a while ago. I'm not hoping he rushes recovery, but if he's ready to go, let him play. And like I said, I want to see Kris Dunn be able to play his game, play his style, while still being a point guard that can execute and run the offense. But he still need to look for a shot, be aggressive, be in attack mode, and create for others while still facilitating and running the offense. He didn't really do that in Minnesota because of the minutes and because of Rubio. But if they don't let Cameron Payne start or they let him go, Kris Dunn to be the only real point guard besides Michael Carter-Williams. Dwayne Wade play a little point every once in a while. We get a ball handler, and we'll actually see what happens. But I like this trade for Kris Dunn, for Zach LaVine, and they end up getting the number 7 pick, which turned out to be a 7-foot center, I believe. I like that because he can stretch the floor. Just like Mirotic, he's still a streaky shooter. Sometimes Mirotic get hot, sometimes he go cold. He's really a stretch forward, but he doesn't really add any rebounding either. So Mirotic, they might let him go in the future too because he's older. He's not a great rebounder. He's not a great defender. He's a streaky shooter. You might get some type of value for him because he's still under the rookie contract, and you really don't want to re-sign a guy that you're not really high on or really want to keep. And they can always throw in Bobby Portis to give him that length, that athleticism, and the ability to hit shots from the mid-range and be able to finish around the paint. So I like this trade for Chicago because they still have a little bit of young talent. They have good contracts because most of these people are on their rookie contract, and they don't have. And if they do, if their contracts do go up, they'll be a restricted free agent anyway, which means Chicago will still have a chance to re-sign them. So now we got to think about it for the Timberwolves. You give up 2 young players, well 3 because of the draft pick, for Jimmy Butler, a guaranteed player, led his team as the go-to guy to a playoff team in the East. I think the only problem with this is Jimmy Butler may never be an all-star because you have Klay Thompson, you got Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Steph Curry. You have so many guards in the West that Jimmy Butler might not be able to make the All-Star team. He do have talent around him better than Chicago because you have Wiggins, you have Rubio, you have Gorgie Dang, you have Karl-Anthony Towns. Jimmy Butler is unselfish. He can be a playmaker. He can be a scorer. He can be a fourth quarter player. He can add defense, and he can do more because he has more talent around him now. I know he had Rondo, I know he had D-Wade, but Towns is a great isolation scorer, a good pick and pop guy, and Andrew Wiggins improved his three-point shooting, and he improved his aggressiveness, and Ricky Rubio is more of a playmaker before a scorer, and he really can't shoot, which hurts the offense. That's why I like them to keep Kris Dunn. But obviously, Ricky Rubio contract is almost over. They can always sign Derrick Rose in free agency because Derrick Rose is a free agent this year. And Tim Thibodeau can remake Jimmy Butler, Derrick Rose again because there was a lot of speculation about Derrick Rose going to Minnesota. Now that they got Butler, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Andrew Wiggins still under their rookie contracts, they can give Derrick Rose a decent deal. And he is coming off an injury, so they're not going to give him a huge deal because Derrick Rose got injured at the end of the season. So we'll see what happens. I like this trade for both teams. You get a veteran guy. He's a little older than, he's 27, about to turn 28. So he's a little older than Zach. I mean, a little older than Andrew and Carl. But hey, you get a good defender, another playmaker, a clutch player, and a great two-way player in general, an all-NBA player, all-star player, even though he might not make the all-star team again since he's going to the West and he's going with a team with a lot of talent. So we'll see. Tom Thibodeau know how to use Jimmy Butler. Tom Thibodeau know how to get the best out of his players, even though you didn't really see it last year. But they all still young. They all developing. And I thought they should have kept Zach LaVine and Kris Dunn. But instead they get rid of both of them for Jimmy Butler. I don't really like it to give away that type of talent in the number 7 pick. And I think they got another pick too. That was the Kristaps Porzingis pick, trade. But they got rid of 3 future All-Stars, Zach and Kris Dunn in the number 7 pick. But I like the number 7 pick too because you get another stretch player to open up the space for Zach LaVine and Kris Dunn and for Dwayne Wade if he stay. And like I said, you got Mirotic, you got Portis, you got Laurie. You got a lot of talent on this roster. Now we just got to see how they're going to put it together. So I like this trade for both sides. I like it more for Chicago because they got young assets and they own their rookie contracts and they're going to be restricted free agents, which means they have a chance to keep all these players. But at the same time, Chicago got a veteran player, all-star level player, one of the best players in the world, top 15. That led the team to the playoffs as the man. So we'll see what happens with him and Timberwolves, and we'll see can Kris Dunn and Zach LaVine turn into all-stars or future stars in the future, which I believe they can because Zach LaVine was basically averaging 20 the whole season. The only problem is he went down a little bit because of the injury. So he ended up averaging 19 or 18, but he was averaging 20 majority of the season. So that's a good player on a rookie contract, and you can re-sign him for cheap. So we'll see what happens. I like it for both teams. Let me see. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. It'll be in the comment section and in the description. Also, like my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. All you gotta do is click the link in the comment section in the description, and it'll send you right to my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. And like that to show support. Thanks for everybody supporting me. Thanks for everybody that's still subscribed. I made it to 2,000. And thanks for everybody riding with me because I know a lot of people still comment and show love, and they've been there for a long time because I've been doing this for years, since 2013, and it's 2018. So thanks for all the support, thanks for all the love, and thanks for your commitment to stand. Even though you don't agree with me, even though you don't like everything I say about your team, you still ride for me and stay with me regardless of what I say, or even if it hurt your team, or even if I say the trade was whack for your team, y'all still say subscribe. Thanks.